Hey folks, this is Paul from Easy Acres Homestead, and I hope this video finds you all well. I wanted to show you all a simple, useful, primitive load-bearing device that anyone can make, known in Korea as the Jige. The Jige is an ancient tool used for carrying all manners of heavy loads, from water to grain to straw to wood, considered indispensable in the Korean countryside, and pretty handy here in Oregon. There's numerous variations, but mine's pretty basic, and I primarily use mine to carry firewood. Let's take a quick look at what a Jige is. I will spare you all the fine minutiae of all the components and their names, but you can see from this typical Jige in a public image lifted straight from Wikipedia. In its most basic setup, it's comprised of two small tree trunks with an appropriate branch forking from it, a couple horizontal supports, some shoulder straps, and most importantly, that Y-shaped staff. The real advantage of the Jige is that it allows one to carry heavy loads. I love that I'm able to grab mine and go cut wood. I bring a shotgun just in case I flush a rabbit or a grouse, but they only seem to come out when I leave it at home. Anyway, let me show you how I made mine. By far the hardest part was finding two smallest trees with these projecting branches at the angle that I wanted. I cut these two western juniper trees here last summer, and the trees have been drying and curing for about 6 months or so. Here they are getting a last minute smoke to kill all the boring beetles inside. I'm doing a lot of the rough forming with the hatchet. Actually, it's a full-size axe head on a hatchet handle, and I love it for this sort of work. Some of the finer shaping I did with my homemade machete. I'm careful not to remove too much material because I want the structure to be lighter, but I still want it to be robust, and I don't want to give it a weak spot. I used an old auger to start some pilot holes through each of the uprights directly across from each other, and then I took an old chisel and a hammer and roughed them into rough slots for my horizontal supports. I kept things real simple and just did two slots, one directly below the load and one way up high. Here I'm shaping some of the horizontal supports out of some extremely hard and strong mountain mahogany wood. And there you go, man. In no time at all, it's together. Traditionally, the shoulder straps are made out of rice straw. Being low on that, I opted to use some Alice Pack military surplus straps that I had and some 550 cord for it, and it works great. It's a little crooked and cockeyed and held together by 550 cord, but it works for me. One of my absolute favorite things about the Jige is how easy it is to prop up with the walking staff, even with a full load. The staff is known in Korean as the Jige jakdigi, and when you want to stop, you just hook the fork at the top support, and you can lounge and vibe on the thing. I take a lot of breaks around here just to keep the morale up, and any device that makes taking a break more convenient is always worth it in my opinion. I'm telling you, this little thing is tailor-made for these little forays into the woods for firewood. Here I'm collecting some of the dead mountain mahogany on my property. Mountain mahogany is not actually mahogany at all. It's a slow-growing, shrubby tree in the rose family. It's a tough, leafy evergreen, very common in my area, and the leaves are an important food for deer and antelope. In fact, many of the trees in my area are stripped from about shoulder down from the constant browsing. Its trunks are also popular with woodpeckers and sapsucker birds, and most of the older trunks bear significant scars from these birds. The wood is extremely dense, and it's a highly sought-after firewood. It burns hot and long. I think it's an absolutely wonderful plant, and I'm glad I have a lot of it around me. It probably gets its name for its deep, rich mahogany brown heartwood, and I'll give you a closer look. You know, if and when I make another Jige, I'm going to make the lower legs, known as the mokpa, a little bit longer so it's easier for me to get underneath and lift and really take advantage of that weight distribution. But so far this one's working pretty good for me. When I was a kid, I have fond memories of watching the old Korean men, the ajishis, head up to the mountains with their Jige all empty and come bouncing down in the evening, singing as they came with superhuman loads of firewood. It's pretty interesting to watch. You know, I don't have an ATV, and even if I did, there's fuel and maintenance and upkeep costs associated with that. My needs are super modest. It'd just be overkill for me at this stage. My little Jige only costs a little effort in putting together and a little bit of human muscle power to operate. Works great for me. Thanks very much for checking out the video. I really hope you found something interesting. I'll see you all again soon, and in the meantime, be easy.